Hey everyone, how's it going? It's that nerd Ryan here, and I kind of wanted to make a little, just me talking to you guys video, not like a video essay, not a review. It's just something that's been on my mind. As you can see, I have received a PlayStation 5. So what have I been doing with that time? Playing Jedi Survivor. And we'll get to the review hopefully next week. If not the week after. I think I'm like a third of the way through. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure I'm a third of the way through. But with that, and with what I'm reading right now, which hopefully that book review will come out in about a month, and with the comics and everything else going on, I wanted to talk about the High Republic and why it's important. So, the High Republic is important just due to the fact that we are seeing the Jedi at their prime, seeing the Republic at their prime, and seeing what the fall is that leads to the Skywalker saga. So basically the High Republic is 250 to 300 years before Episode 1. And why I say that is because Phase 1 and Phase 3 take place 250 and 249 years prior to Episode 1, while Phase 2 goes even farther back. Currently I am reading the second young adult novel for Phase 2. I am a little behind, sorry, some books were just really hard to get through in the reviews. I mean, you could check out my reviews to see that. But basically, the High Republic just is a good story. I don't think it's replacing the Old Republic in Disney canon. This is just a nice bridge for us to get to so we can see what the Jedi were supposed to be and why they started turning to the way they are. So Phase 1 just shows at the beginning how the Jedi are supposed to be, how they're supposed to be benevolent helpers, nothing to do with warmongering, nothing to do with starting battles. They're there to help in conflict and basically find a mediary. They're not fully controlled by the Republic. They work in tandem with the Republic. But that's basically about it. During that, we get the introduction of the Nihil, who are just pirate raiders that cause chaos. In that, we also see that the Nihil affect even the story of Jedi Fallen Order, along with some other recent aspects. But we get to see truly how the Jedi kind of were very individualized with their lightsabers, their feelings of the Force, stuff like that. Certain Jedi saw the Force in different ways than other Jedi. If they did not feel comfortable with what the Order was doing, they could still be considered a Jedi, just be called a Wayseeker. Just a very freeing time for them. Also, the Republic was all about expansion and unity, making sure that any planet that is in the Republic is protected and helped. That's where we see the Nihil come in, where they start attacking and basically doing terrorist attacks on the Republic. We also get introduced to the Drengir, which I do feel kind of just came and went. They're just carnivorous plants that were connected to the dark side of the Force. Which there is a theory video coming out soon about the Drengir and other things that Sith hid away from existence, which we'll get to eventually. But with that, the Drengir kind of team up with the Nihil, then they stop working with the Nihil. We then get to see the Nameless, which are creatures that eat the Force and eat Force users, mainly Jedi, turning them to basically calcium. Pure calcium, stone, fossilized sort of thing, which is terrifying when you think about it. After that, the Nihil crush Starlight Beacon, which is supposed to be the pinnacle of the Republic, and they take over the Outer Rim. We then cut to Phase 2, where we get to see the foundation of the Nihil. They're called the Path of the Open Hand, which is a cult. We get to see more of Jedi being true Jedi, of just not getting into not involving themselves into conflict, but trying to mediate and make sure things are even. We get to see more Jedi kind of see their way of the Force and their customized lightsabers, stuff like that. We also get to see kind of the state of the galaxy, where the biggest thing happening was a war between twin planets, not a galactic scale war like the Clone Wars or the Galactic Civil War, or even the Nihil conflict that we see at the end of Phase 1 and what we see right now in Phase 3. But we get to see the first Nameless along with other things, and then we get to Phase 3, which has just started. And this is where we see the true beginning of the fall of the Jedi. Why I say that is the Jedi start acting more like we see them in the Clone Wars, where they're doing like protocols where Padawans that are of age are now automatically Jedi Knights. We get to see the loss of the customization of lightsabers, where it's kind of more uniform. We also end up seeing like just basically Jedi losing hope and becoming more involved and vindictive towards everything. I can see that we also will be losing the thought of individualized Force sight. So what I mean by that is there's one Jedi, Avar Kriss, who can see the Force in song. Then there's some that see it in water, stuff like that. Like, we can see that the Jedi are starting to fall due to the Nihil. And I think the best example of that is Dagan in Jedi Survivor, who fell to the dark side almost automatically after reawakening. And then we also find out that he was killing Jedi during the High Republic. That's as far as I've gotten, so if there's more to come, I don't know yet. We'll talk about that in the video review. However, Jedi falling pretty quickly to the dark side 5 minutes after waking up and also doing stuff on their time back in the day, we get to see other Jedi that have fallen due to this scenario, and just seeing, I mean, obviously nobody's a Sith, they're just a fallen Jedi. We start to see the cracks of the Order due to the Nihil. So the Nihil are falling in and leading up to the Sith's rise to power just by cracking flaws at the Jedi and the Republic. So that is why the High Republic is important. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, and follow me on all my social media down below. It's that Nerd Ryan, signing